Hi, everyone, and welcome to the IPT podcast. I am joined here today by a very special co-host, Alvaro Pozo, who's the COO and General Manager of T-ROC International. Welcome.
Hi, Telsis. Thanks for having me. And we are so excited for today. We are really, really happy to be here with you.
Yeah, we had a great conversation with Leonardo Arreguin from Smart Jobs in Mexico.
Leonardo is a CFO for a company that we are partnering with in Mexico to help our expansion. And we have a lot of similarities as a company. We have some parallels, but also we have some complementary areas where we're helping each other out to grow our business in Mexico. So Leonardo has been a great partner for us and one that also understands the value of Viba.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the conversation with him. He's got some great energy, and we're excited to bring him to the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Stay tuned. Viba is T-ROC's virtual interactive brand ambassador. Viba delivers contactless, personalized shopping and service experiences anytime, anywhere through live video engagements and rich media content. Viba is the only video conference-based, omni-channel customer experience solution that delivers sales, service, and supports experiences whenever, however, and wherever they're needed. When customers want answers, they want them instantly and accurately. With Viba, you close the gap between online and offline engagements with safe, convenient, and accurate real-time experiences. Viba is best when experienced. So visit VibaConnect.com to see more for yourself and schedule a demo. All right, so welcome to the IPT podcast. I have Alvaro Pozo with me as my co-host today. Welcome, Al.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. It's such a treat. It really is such a treat.
Al, tell us who we have today.
Well, today we have a great guest and one that I think is going to bring us a lot of information. Leonardo Arreguin is a leader within a partner company for T-ROC called Smart Jobs. And they have been working with us for some time now and helping us navigate some of the different regulations in the Mexican labor market, as well as creating some opportunities within retailers. So, Leonardo, thank you for joining us.
Hola.
I'll call you Leo from now on.
Thank you. Thank you for this space. I hope my knowledge can help all your audience for know about the Mexican market in retail.
Leo, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what is your experience like? What is your background like?
My background is in finance. I've always been in charge of the finance of all the companies that we have. We have just a second because the Google hears something and speaks. Sorry. So technology. Yes, all the technology is hearing what I'm saying and try to find finance. So I'm in charge of all type of all the finance of the companies. Cash flow, money, all of that, no? So, but I'm always interested in the whole areas because in finance, you have to take care of all the areas, human resources, everything, because everything is related with money at a time, no? So I'm always in the operating and all that, no? So that's my background in the Smart Jobs. I'm the CFO, no? Our CEO is Juan Pablo Moreno, and we have a background in the payroll services. Here in Mexico City, and in all the payroll services, we find that we are also good in all the type of retailers. We have that they have a lot of promoters, and they always have problem to find out that promoter that fit the job well. No, it's something that is very difficult here in Mexico because it's a person that have to sell, that have it's really difficult here in Mexico to find that type of no? So we are very good one in what we do. We have clients like for 15 years, no, and we still have it. So I think that we do something well.
Excellent.
That's great. You know, in this society, I find that when people say we've been with a client for 15 years, like that's really something that's honorable.
That's
an
achievement.
Everybody,
yes.
I feel like that's part of our, the progression in our society too, is like quick things like, oh, if this doesn't work, we move on to the next thing, right? Like what's the next shiny thing? So 15 years with a client, that's definitely.
Yes. And we still over there. No, right now we have some big changes in Mexico City in the legislation. They prohibited what we call outsourcing. So here in Mexico, it's prohibited from September 1 to do outsourcing. So they change it to something that it's new, that it's special out services. So
So we're losing a little bit of the signal here, Leo,
Yeah,
but
we can't hear you.
I think it's important because for our business, outsourcing is our business, right? So I think one of the things that the legislation has done is created a specialized services arena. So for those of us who are not familiar with the Mexican labor market, there was a lot of outsourcing. So companies would say, I'm an outsourced company, but I'm going to give you a guy who's going to be the janitor. I'm going to give you a guy who's going to be the sales rep, and I'm going to give you a guy who's going to be the maintenance person, all under the one umbrella, right? But what happened, it became more of a HR agency than truly a labor outsource. So what the Mexican regulation did is they said, okay, outsource as a whole is not what we want. We want specialized services. So that's actually something that's worked really well for T-ROC because we are a new company in Mexico and we are specialized services for sales. So that gives us the opportunity to come in with a value add as well as a very direct resource. And that's why, Leo and Smart Jobs is helping us because, to his point, they do extremely well with, payroll and profile, but at the same time, they know exactly what all the regulations and the changes that are going on, and they're guiding us through this process.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Perfectly, Alvaro.
Yes. What he said.
What he said is what I think I was to say. So, but also you need to have a special permit from the government to have to give that kind of service, that special app service. But it's a great opportunity for us and with a technology like Viba, because right now we have this big change in legislation, but also we have COVID, that that we have one whole year or more that we had a whole year, So all the companies, they were like, okay, where our promoters are in home. We need to sell. How we're gonna do to sell because they are in their home, but they can't go to the retail store because it's prohibited. So how we can do? So when we start talking about, okay, we have this type of technology that is Viva. It's like a virtual ambassador that you can have, and you can have it on like scanning a QR, and it's something new. It's revolutionary. So all the people that I have been CEOs from all types of companies, I have been talking about this technology. They are fascinating. They are saying, oh my goodness, this is a really good one thing. How did it not occur before? That's what I was needed in the COVID, and right now I have it. So it's a really, really good one technology. Every CEO that I talk, they imagine different ways of use it. Sometimes someone they say, okay, it's great for promoting my product. There's another that says, okay, this is gonna be a really good for giving how you say services, like you have a coffee machine, and you have a problem with your coffee machine, and you go to WhatsApp and you have a bot that takes you a whole bunch of questions just to say, okay, it's blinking that button, just push it like 5 seconds and we'll reset it. That's it, and you just lost like 15 minutes. And they say, okay, with this technology, I can call to the call center. They call the assistants that will help you how you can reset your coffee machine, and you take like 3 minutes.
Yeah. So excellent technical support, right?
Yes, that's right. It. So someone imagine that another client, he's a really big creating chocolates in the whole world, and they have a great event in Christmas. They do a big Christmas tree, and they just imagine using Viva to broadcasting to all their customers that light up of that Christmas tree. That is that one of the biggest events for them. So they say, oh, I love this type of technology. I love Viva. I want to do a broadcasting with all my customers with a QR, like inviting them, okay, connect that time at that hour, because we are gonna lighting this Christmas tree. So they are enjoying these technologies. They are saying, okay, I want this because it's new. So
You know, that's actually the first time that we hear that broadcasting. It's actually
in a practical manner.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, that, and we have never really had that conversation. We talk about mostly just Viba being as a brand ambassadorship, right? A virtual brand ambassador, but the broadcast technology within Viba, we've never really discussed it on the podcast before. So
that's something
yeah,
new.
and there are people really using it. You know, it's so cool to see that we've always promoted it as like, you know, you can do
It's
live,
been mostly a virtual
live,
sales
yeah,
tool,
exactly.
but we see it as a training tool. We see it as, you just mentioned, a support tool,
Yeah.
and now for the broadcasting, that
True
is
marketing,
a
yeah.
great opportunity for us to.
That's great to hear.
expand.
And this client is really that I wanted to do it for my Christmas. We have like 2 months to do it. It's possible. So I say, let me check with our T-ROC team. So if it's possible, no. So they have a lot of ideas how they can use Viva, because it's not we know that we use Viva to promote, no, like for example, for my promoters that I have to a mattress company, no, that they are selling, no, and sometimes there are stores in the south of Mexico, they are very difficult to reach. Well, with this technology, you can have virtual ambassadors attending all that clients, no, but like that's the great thing of Viva. You just can imagine everything for like broadcasting, no, like a virtual ambassador. We have for technical service, no. I don't know. Maybe it can work for more things. I don't know. The clients are asking me that if it's possible to do this, if it's possible to do this, they are loving it.
You know, the one thing, sorry if I may, the one thing that I have heard out of all the use cases of Viba was we did speak to an insurance company that was talking about after a disaster to use Viba as insurance adjusters actually go out, instead of having to go out to the site, which is dangerous, right? If there's a house that's falling apart or, if, you know, a hurricane, like, you know, here in Miami, we obviously have a lot of that issue, right? So the adjusters actually can't get out to the site, but using Viba, they could actually do real time and just scan the area with the camera and assess the damage just on Viba, which was a unique case that we had never really thought of when in the development of Viba as being used that way.
Absolutely, and I think that, you know, this podcast, for, you know, to your point, has revolved around Viba a lot, right. But it's not because it's no accident, right? This is the intersection between people and technology,
right?
And Viba is that, right? It brings, through technology, it brings people together. But I think what's really great about continuing to have a conversation about Viba in the podcast is that we are discovering new use cases and new scenarios in which could be an effective tool. So right now we just came up with one that we normally won't talk about during the podcast. And I think that there's a lot that can be said from just having conversations with customers, conversations with partners, and just realizing that the power of this technology goes beyond the original thought,
intent
right?
use, yeah, for sure.
So I think that's really special about what we do here in the podcast, but more importantly, what we're learning from our customers and our partners. If I could just kind of switch it up a little bit, Leo, what I think is going to be really key during this specific episode is to talk about how certain markets are behaving, you know, post pandemic. What are the changes that you're seeing? There's obviously changes in regulations, but tell us about the changes that you've seen in retail. You mentioned about, you know, the people are not allowed into a store, and that's why Viva is a key. But also in the overall, in the marketplace, what do you think has been the biggest lessons that we've learned over the last 24 months?
Okay, well, for example, with this new law, most of the companies, they say, okay, I have a company that is outsourcing all the promoters, no? With this new legislation, they say, okay, I will have all that promoters in my company. But the problem is they do, like, for example, mattress. This company, they do mattress. They don't have anything about knowledge about all the promoting, sales, all that experience in retail. So they figure out, okay, it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna put it in my company because the laws say that. But that right now that they have that promoters in their company, they are saying, okay, so now what I do? I need an expert because I don't what I do with all these promoters. No, I need to sell more. How I do it? But my core business is to create mattress, not promoters. So they need that expertise. So what we are giving right now, it's okay. With this, it can be a virtual ambassador or the promoters. What we do, it's like we have the experience. We have the experience how to do it, how we can find that right promoter to sell. Because it's not the same that they, okay, come on, you're gonna sell this thing for now, but they don't have the expertise. They don't know, so it's not working because these people is not trained, is not they don't have the basis, all the knowledge that we have, so they can sell more. So I think there's gonna be a problem for most of our customers right now. They are changing. They are saying, okay, Leo, you were right. Right now, I don't know what to do with this because no, like, okay, how can you help me with that? No, okay, we have this type of technology. We have all this knowledge on retail, no, because we know all the big retailers in Mexico City because we work with them. We know what they need, all the bureaucratic process to enter a store because we have a lot of bureaucratic process to everybody to enter. With this new legislation, we have a lot of new process do we need, but with us, we have in our DNA all the type of all the technological skills. No, we have our partner Viba, and we have a lot of another technological companies that help us, like time and attendance. No, that we have another partner that have the time and attendance that you have a geofence. So you check in only if you are inside that geofence. So that helps us with our promoters that they have in one store. So you don't have to worry about that. If the promoter went to that store, well, you will see it because on your cell phone you want to check in, and he only can check in if he is inside this geofence. So it's really nice because we help people and we help it with technology. That's what we do.
So Leo, if I kind of could recap some of what I hear you saying, is that the legislation, what it did is brought a company who manufactures mattresses, for example,
Yes.
to your example, they said, okay, because of all the problems with outsourcing, we'll bring these salespeople into our own payroll, and we'll say, we'll eliminate the whole legislation part. But the new problem they found is that they didn't know how to, manage, train, and create salespeople. They're great at manufacturing mattresses, but they're not great at the sales channel. And now that problem is what we are providing as companies, which are specialized sales people, knowing the right profiles, knowing the right training, knowing the right management tools, and creating, that the solution created another problem.
Right.
And now the problem is something that we are solving for.
Right.
Right. So is that a good recap of what you
Yeah, that's the recap that we have. So because they absorb all the promoters and all the people because they were scared of the legislation. So they didn't figure out that it's permitted to have a special service retail. It's legal. So, but they just say, okay, I'm gonna take it because I want to be I'm an international company, and I want to be like with the law. No, but but you can have special services, and that's what we offer. We offer that we are specialized, that we have the knowledge, we know how to recruit these type of promoters, because there are several types of promoters. There are promoters who are good in tech. We have promoters that are good with people. Well, everybody's good with people, no, but certain type of people, no. And for example, they have in this mattress company, they have some mattress that they are really expensive. I'm talking about 3,000 a mattress, and it's very specialized mattress. So you need someone who knows about this type of mattress, because it goes to a special market who maybe this one of the customers speaks perfectly English, Portuguese, I don't know, Chinese, maybe, but they want some special mattress that is like three or 4,000 dollars. So it's really expensive. You need to have that specialized person to answer and don't lose that sale. So that's what we are giving, and we are giving this with our partner Viva, because it's one of the only way to do that is like having a specialized promoter with like virtual ambassador to answer all that questions to that type of clients.
That's perfect. Now, I think that's a great explanation, Leo. Now, if you could help us understand, and I think that goes to the labor regulations, right? The changes. Now, over the last 2 years, what do you think have been the most important changes in retail as a whole, or even more so the Mexican market? I know there's been new government, new rules, new regulations, the pandemic. With all that said, what do you think are the two biggest keys that you have learned over the last 2 years in the Mexican market?
Okay, it's a hard question. Let me think. What changes I have seen? Well,
And what we're thinking of that, I guess that might have been, yeah. I was hoping to kind of have a broad conversation, but to your point, yeah, they might have put you on the spot. Let me retract. Let me retract a little bit then. So I just and I'll help you. At least what I see as the biggest changes in the Mexican market is that it seems to me that the regulations that are happening, what the new government is bringing, is kind of stopping the flow of commerce. And whether they're doing it for the pandemic, whether they're doing it for new labor regulations, whether they're doing it for popularity, it just seems to me that there's been kind of a commerce slowdown. Would you agree with that?
yes, I agree, totally agree. So you say, okay, we have the pandemic, and you say, okay, there's a new legislation. Okay, wait a second. You just can't wait like 1-2 years after the COVID to start this new legislation. So no, it's like when it's raining again with all the companies, no, that they are suffering because of they don't having sales. And after that, they have this hard legislation, so they don't know what to do. They say, okay, I provide employees, so I need a little bit help, no? Like I need help, please, no? And they say, no, okay, you have these new regulations. We don't have you had after the COVID. There's really difficult for all the companies, and yes, it's really hard for all the companies. But right now, the market, what I see is they are starting because all the people after the COVID, they right now they are going out. For example, in all the restaurants here in Mexico City, you find it full, really full from Thursday to Saturday. And you say you don't have space for it because it's full, totally full. So the people, it's going out, it's reactivating again. So this happened in the restaurants. What happened in the retails? They are starting to they start again to all the customers to return into the retail. There are some like the younger people, they don't have problem, no, but the older people, they are like not as always going to the retail because they know they don't want to be exposed. So, and sometimes all the older people are the ones who make the biggest shopping. So they are going slow. They are going more slow.
So Leo, if I think this is a question that we had earlier, and I don't know that we really got we really got the what we wanted to hear, which is if now the people are coming back to restaurants and they're coming back to retail, do the retailers and the restaurants have enough labor? Do they have enough employees to be able to have a good customer experience, or is there a problem with matching labor to demand?
No, they are having problems matching the demand, okay, because they have a lot of how do you say, so they are not going at the same rhythm. So you have more sales, but you are using a lot of a slow type of people. No, not type slow people. You say like not a lot of people to doing that, because they have a lot of debts, big debts from 1 year not opening. They are totally on debt. So they don't want to spend more money in employees because they have this debt, and they are not bankruptcy because they do like so they do whatever they have to do.
Some assistance, some subsidies, yeah.
Being open.
So yeah, and I think that's probably the key to most businesses nowadays and most markets, right? I mean, we're at a place where we have less labor than we have demand, because people want to get back to the normal life, and we're not necessarily equipped for that yet. I think most of our business owners don't have the labor that they wish they had, right? So yes, and I think this is a problem today, but an opportunity tomorrow, an opportunity for companies like ours that are going to be able to provide some of that labor and create the right profiles for our customers. So I think this is where the reason why I wanted to get to that point is so we could understand that this is an influx point where we were suffering through the pandemic, but right now we have the opportunity to create a solution.
Yes, and we are in the best moment to create that solution that our customers need, because they really need help. They need someone to help them to recover 1 year without sale. So they have numbers and they have a budgets to have. So they need to recover that. So we are going to help them how they can do it with promoters, with virtual ambassadors, with everything that we know, and new technology that T-ROC can develop. We are open, because we know that you are always innovating, and that's why we love this partnership with because your DNA of technology are innovating is the same DNA that we have, in creating and develop in all types of technologies. For example, we have a payroll software that we create 4 years ago. As we are always innovating, we find out that maybe in a future outsourcing will end. So maybe we can develop a software that is 360 from the beginning to the end with all the process of payroll. So that's what we create, that is called Osmos. So because we find out that there was not a software who can do from the beginning to the end. You have to always are using one software, two software, three software, and say, it's really difficult to do that.
Yeah, there was a big more matching points.
Yes, matching points. So what we do is create a software for all the type of the payroll services from the beginning to the end. And it's not just a software for the accountant, it's a software for the human resources manager. So that type of creating, innovating is what it's in our DNA, and I know that, and that's what I love in T-ROC, because you are always innovating. And the first time that I see the virtual ambassador, I say, wow, that's great. And that's awesome. Something that is really difficult to do, because I'm always buying all types of technology. I'm really...
Yeah, he's an early adopter.
You and your new camera.
Yeah.
Yes, my new camera that has it says like a virtual intelligence, something like that, but it follows your face. So
actually, Leo, I think part of what you just touched on right now is to the larger point of our partnership, right? We're complementary to there's our services and offers like Viba that you could definitely take advantage of and see the value in. And you just mentioned Osmos, your payroll, which helps us land into a new market, create the right opportunities for our personnel, and I think that's really what partnerships are driving our best practices, right? Because we know that there's a lot of things that we do well, but we don't do everything, and we want to seek partners like Smart Jobs to provide us their services to be able to land and expand into markets in a way that's going to be great for our customers, easy for our employees, and obviously helpful to our overall. So I'd like to thank you for that partnership as well, because there's a lot of that we're generating from being together with you. I think the one last question I would have when it comes to business would be about what you see in supply chain, right? I mean, today there's a lot of problems in inventory worldwide, and whether it's logistics, supply chain, or inventory. How is this affecting Mexico? Are companies suffering from lack of inventory, or is it catching up already?
No, we are lack of inventory, like in for computers, in everything. Like, and also the customer notice. If I want to buy a computer right now, because I have a new people entering to my company, there's no computers because there are no chips. Right. Say, okay, how is possible that there are no chips? we need a computer to work, and then the computers that they are really expensive, like incredible expensive, or like a computer that you 6 months ago or 1 year ago you buy like 20% less. Right now it's in skyrocket, no? And there's a lack in every industry. There's a lack. It also depends for the supply chains, no? If they are supplying for China or from that, sometimes it's taking too long, no? Because to get here. So yeah, we are very lack of components of everything, and you see it in the retails. There are like you want to try something and they say, oh, there's not available. And when it's gonna be available, I don't know. Yeah. That's not an answer for a customer that you can say, I don't know. You say, no, don't worry. The next week or in a month will be. They don't know. There's I don't know. Yeah. That's we can't permit that, like with a promoter that say to the customer, okay, I don't know. I want a mattress, but I don't know. Well, in the type of mattress, they create their own mattresses. They have a lot of stock doing that, no? But in another type of industries, they don't have it, and it's really difficult because you depend of that. It's like everything is lined up. If you are missing components, you can sell the levels of you can sell the same levels like the past years because you don't have the product to sell.
Right. The irony was I just last week, I think it was, when Apple announced their new MacBooks, and
yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it seems like a week ago.
It was last week. The funny thing is that the new books are going to have 2 chips in them now. Yeah. And so I'm like, where are they getting these chips from, right? And they just announced that they're creating 10 million less iPhones out there because there's no chips in the market, but yet the new MacBook is going to have 2. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when it's going to come out or when they're going to have it ready.
I don't know.
and it's funny when you were saying that, the one thing that I thought of is how different the customer experience was from even 2 years ago when telling a customer, I don't know, was absolutely unacceptable. And now we have no choice. Again,
no one does actually
exercise in fluidity, right? Yeah. The pandemic has created an exercise in fluidity.
And and what it does is you have forecasts as a company. You have forecasts. You have expectations. You have for public companies, you have to go and make your financial statements known.
You do that.
And there's so many different things that are working, against each other, some that are hopefully getting better.
Yeah, how can you ground yourself when the ground is moving?
Exactly.
How do you ground yourself when the ground is moving? It's not easy right now in this.
For me, the toughest thing as a business leader in the last 12 months has been forecasting. Yeah. I cannot tell you when things are going to happen with any certainty, and what happens is that every quarter I'm thinking next 90 days, 90 days, and we're to the point where people
2 years.
Say, hey, this is your last 180 days have passed. Yeah. They cannot give me another 90 days.
Well, listen, that is a great place to wrap it up. Leonardo, thank you. But before we let you go, we have some really fun questions we like to ask of our customers. Listen to me. Of our guests.
And partners.
And partners, yeah. So are you ready? You ready to have a little fun with this?
Okay, I'm ready with that question.
I love the enthusiasm. What is your superpower?
Okay, my superpower is I'm always innovating. I'm always trying to find how can I do this more efficiency, how can have less process in a routine, something like that. We are always innovating. So for me, like innovating is one of my best things, no? So I'm always creating and I say, okay, how can I do this better? If it's possible, I think so. Well, okay, let's do it.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
efficiency. I'm all about it. I appreciate that. So what is your kryptonite?
Okay, kryptonite. Well, sometimes I just want the things go faster.
Patience is your
So
kryptonite.
patience.
I say to the people, okay, can you do this? And I say, well, it's like 3 days ago and I don't have the report or something like that. So I get very easy.
Frustrated.
Frustration, lack of patience.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think Leo, you will probably admit, at least it's, sometimes when I'm in Mexico, I feel like patience is
Oh, you need
key,
it.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a virtue because there's a whole lot of weight.
Well, we're trained differently in the U.S., right? Like our mentality is very different. So even like when I go to the Caribbean, you're like, hey, can I get, I don't know, a beer or whatever. 5 hours later, they come with the beer and you're like, what the heck is happening, right?
No, here in Mexico, like you want everything like in the moment. No, and if you go into south of Mexico, they are like, okay, taking a lot of time. Like,
Right.
okay, I say like 2 hours my beer, and I say, what
In
happened?
Spanish, they say in Spanish, they say sin prisa, right? Sin prisa, no hay prisa.
Sin prisa, no hay prisa. But here in Mexico City, we are always having a lot of prisa.
Prisa, mucha prisa. Okay. So what do you most appreciate about what technology has brought to us?
I think that the technology help us with the time. It's incredible that right now, like you are in Miami and in Mexico, we are having this conversation. A few years ago, this was impossible. I was taking a flight to Miami to be with your audience to wreck this podcast. And right now, like we are having this great conversation. You're in Miami, I'm in Mexico City, and maybe we can have someone from China here also. No, I think that the technology brought us with this is like efficiency. We can be communicated with everybody. So I think what I love from technology.
That's a great answer. That's a great
Which
answer
ties
because
back to his superpower, which
Yeah.
is why he likes it. Yeah.
exactly, because time is something we don't get back, and if we can make more of it because of technology, it's fantastic.
I agree. All right. So last question. If you could have been credited by creating anything in technology that currently exists, what would you have been credited for creating?
Okay, I think the internet, the web, because the web gives you the opportunity, no matter your status or the country where you are, you have information like in your cell phone and in any kind of moment. For example, if I have a doubt, like I have a new coffee machine, but because this is a real example, it happens. And I was like, it's not working. How it's possible? I just take my phone, put YouTube, and I say how to configure this coffee machine. In 3 minutes, I was doing my coffee. So that's what I love of the internet, that you have you have information, a lot of information at any kind of moment. So that's what I think is the most value on technology, and I will be proud of being creating.
Now I
Nice.
gotta
the
tell you, what
internet.
I've just learned about Leo is that time is of the
Time
essence
is of the
for
essence
him,
for
right?
him, right? Yeah.
I mean, he.
So we appreciate your time for being with us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you for giving us this-
Thank you.
No, I love to be with you. I think that this partnership will long a lot of time because we have the same DNA. I love what they do. Like I have my T-ROC shirt right now in my heart. In my heart.
We really appreciate not just your time, but the partnership. We look forward to growing together and really learning about the market, and more importantly about the opportunities and creating solutions. So thank you so much.
It was so nice to meet you. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, Telsi. Thank you, Alvaro.
All right.
talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.